Gentlemen, I would like to call this Johnson County Council meeting to order on this Monday, May 11th at 6:00 p.m. Amy, will you please take roll call?
Michelle Ann Graves,
Here.
Jonathan Myers,
Here.
Melinda Griesemer.
Melinda, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
I'm here.
There you go. Thank you.
John Mallers,
Here.
Pamela Burton,
Present.
John Dittmers,
Here.
Ron Bates.
Present.
All right. Please pray with us if you care to, and then we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessing of this day. Guide our thoughts, guard our hearts, and lead our steps closer to you. May our lives reflect your love, our words speak truth, and our actions honor you today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America.
For which it stands, a nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do have one change to the agenda. We need to add F5, discussion of travel and training transfers. I would entertain a motion for that.
So move.
I have a first by Ron Bates,
Second.
second by John Dittmers. All those in favor, roll call vote, Amy.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesemer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
All right, at this time, we are open for public comments. These are for agenda items only, and we ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes per person. Hearing none, we'll move on to item C, routine matters consent agenda. I am ready for a motion if, by a single motion, the board approves the following items, which may include salary ordinance amendments, additional appropriations, reductions, and transfers. Any items listed on the consent agenda may be removed by a council member and moved to the regular agenda.
Move to approve the routine matters consent agenda items.
I have a motion by John Mallers,
A second.
second by Jonathan T. Myers. Roll call vote, Amy.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesemer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
All right, moving with that, item D1, salary ordinance amendments, additional appropriations, reductions and transfers. Up first is the Health Department. Hi, Betsy.
Hi, Betsy Swearingen, Director of the Health Department. I'm here on number one is the crisis school grant. It's basically our school liaison grant. And we did not come to you at budget time with this, as we did not have a school liaison at that time, and we didn't know how we were going to be. We didn't know what Health First Indiana funds were going to look like, and we also didn't know if we were going to dip back into those funds for this year. So that will be our operating budget for that position, which we filled in late November.
Looks like your cash balance is ample to cover that.
And we even asked if we could take some of that cash balance and reinvest it, but we were told no, as it's a federal grant.
Federal grant,
Okay.
okay. Do we have any questions for Betsy?
I do. So these funds that are 1161, 1206, 4300 and 8229, they're part of that thing that we decided to enlist with the state of Indiana on, correct?
Well, this particular one, the school liaison, it's a grant from back during COVID. It was IDOH's response or federal response to thinking that the teachers needed more help and more services after COVID came out. So they came out with this grant back then. We hired a school liaison then. She left us last February. We went until November without. So we haven't touched these funds for a few years because on the first year of the Health First Indiana funds, we were able to cover the school liaison budget underneath that.
I
Okay,
think you might be looking at item 2, John.
okay, well, all of them, really.
Oh, okay.
Item 2 is the Health First Indiana funds. We'll get to that.
Okay, so this is not a.
No, this is an additional grant that we've had since maybe 2022, I think,
Okay,
sometime during COVID.
I apologize, I jumped the gun.
That's okay. It's confusing.
I did have a question, Betsy, just out of curiosity. The food request for $2,000,
Right.
what do you guys buy?
That's usually food and drinks when we run a vaccination clinic for back to school shots. So if the kids go down, then we can feed them so that they feel better after getting vaccinated. And we just put it aside. We don't know how much we're gonna need.
I did have one other additional question that I was asked under office equipment and furniture, the $10,000. The question was, we just built a brand new building and bought all new equipment. Do you have what you need? Did something go wrong? How can we help?
The only thing, I don't know, I can't answer that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should probably have a perfect answer for that. I think we just budgeted it in case we need it, so that we don't have to keep coming back to you guys and asking for another, appropriation. So we planned it in case we need new desks or we hire more people. Well, we can't hire more people, not yet, but, or if they are in need of supplies or furniture or anything. I think we kind of just historically budget what we've budgeted in the past, because somehow if we don't, we always seem to end up needing that line item with some money in it.
I'll make a motion to approve item D under salary ordinances and amendments as presented.
I have a motion from Pam Burton,
Second,
second from Jonathan T. Myers. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Amy.
Jonathan Myers,
aye.
Melinda Griesmer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
We're ready.
Is that 2 and 3 as well? Or are we gonna take them separately?
That was for one.
That was for one.
That was just for one.
Yeah, now you're at number 2, because I think that's where John had some questions.
Okay, number 2 is our Health First Indiana budget for the 2026 year. This is some of it is rollover from 2025 that we did not spend. And this was run past the commissioners to see if they approved of this funding plan, I should say.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, John.
So in my limited knowledge, that by us going with the state, there are so many regulations that, precede our appropriation, it seems like. It seems like we have to go before the state budget committee to get this approved.
No, with this budget is pending your approval. The state has approved this budget. It meets all of our guidelines. We met all of the fiscal restrictions and guidelines last year, and we will then be able to turn around and start spending some of these funds this year. And it's approved to them as long as you just have to approve it locally now.
Okay, so it's been approved by the SBOA and the,
Yes. Well, we don't go in front of State Board of Accounts. We go through the state of Indiana and the Health First Indiana funds. We run under the Indiana Department of Health on that one.
okay, so are we okay by approving this?
Yes.
Okay,
So just to clarify, the commissioners work with the health department when they present, hey, these are the numbers. And this is what we have for this year. We look at where, that Betsy had worked with the state on where they want to put the money in the upcoming year. And so that went before the commissioners, I think, last month. And
Yes.
so they approved and it's up to the council.
Okay, so the plan must be reviewed by the Indiana State Budget Committee prior to our appropriation. That's what I'm reading.
Yes.
Right,
So
and,
we're
and
good?
that has,
And that's.
Yeah.
and that has been.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good questions, John. Thank
Mhm.
you.
We like to jump through the hoops, just like fans, which we try our best.
That's good.
Well, I'm glad I'm
It's a
not,
very good question. It's a
Yeah,
very
it's a
fair
great
question.
I'm glad I'm not doing the jumping.
I'll make a motion to approve item 2 under salary ordinances and amendments as presented.
Second. Oh,
I have a motion by Pamela Burton and my eye caught Ron Bates
You did.
as a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, Amy.
Jonathan Myers, Melinda Griesimer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
And you want to finish us up here, Betsy, with number 3?
Number 3, and this is 1206. So John, these are tobacco trust settlement funds. That's that budget. And what we like to do is the dues and subscriptions, we were running a little bit low, so we wanted to appropriate, or we had that in the budget. And then the operating equipment is a new piece of equipment for my environmentalists. When they go out in the field for septic systems, it's a transit, like a virtual transit piece of equipment with software. It's amazing, and it will make us just that much more accurate. So if there are, problems down the road or repairs need to be made, we'll have the appropriate shots that we need.
This is for septic systems, correct?
Yes.
Right. And we still have a lot of those in Johnson County.
My people are swamped right now.
Swamped.
Swamped.
Good to know.
Not because of the rain.
No, no, not because of that, because everybody, this is what we call this is our busy time for septics. So
Okay.
all day long, sometimes 6 days a week. So
Well, thank you for that. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve number D3, local health department trust account.
Have a motion from John Mallers,
Second.
second from Jonathan T. Myers. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, Amy.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesimer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Betsy. We are ready for the Johnson County Public Library Annual Review, and I know you had a thumb drive. Did you get with Connor? We're all set to go? Wonderful. Thank you. Hi, Jody.
Oh, yes, we did. Just the audience. Thanks, Jody. I'm Lisa Littner, Library Director for the Johnson County Public Library. Jody, our marketing managers, handing some handouts to you all, our year in review infographic and our quarterly guide. And then the yellow page is just some programs of interest. We come once a year just to share with you our year before and what's upcoming the next year. So next slide, please. So we had another great year at Johnson County Public Library. We had more than 1 million items checked out. So 1.3 million items were borrowed from the library. That includes 920,000 items that are on our shelves, like books and DVDs and Library of Things. And then 420,000 of those items are digital items. And a great many of those are audiobooks, because that is the preferred way of listening to a book these days, is to download it to your device and listen to it. We had almost 400,000 visitors. That equals 6 packed stadiums for the Colts games. If you want to try to imagine how many 387,000 folks are. We issued 11,000 new library cards, and then we have 55,883 active card holders. That's individuals and households in Johnson County. Next slide. We're always proud of our programs at JCPL. Again, in 2025, JCPL was the 10th largest library district in the state of Indiana, but we ranked third for attendance at library programs. So you have Indy Public Library, you have Allen County or Fort Wayne, and then you have Johnson County Public Library. So we're really proud of all of the partnerships that we've had with all of our community members, as well as programs that we do that draw hundreds and sometimes thousands of residents. Our summer reading program is an essential staple of what we do. It is designed to engage students in school to continue to maintain their reading skills and other skills while they're out of school during the summer. Last year, we had 6,200 folks participate, and as a community, and that's ages from babies through retired folks, 5.1 million items were read together in Johnson County. The strategic plan update is quite long. I know you're going to hopefully get a copy of this, so I will not read all of the points, but our strategic plan is on our website and it's a living document. Every quarter we meet goals and we add new ones. But we have basically 3 pillars. The first one is about access and customer service. We want the Johnson County Public Library just to be a great place that welcomes the community and fulfills their educational needs. The next slide tells you that we are all about community engagement and outreach. Our staff are partnering with schools. They do story times at daycares. We reach out to senior centers and do programming there to keep people learning their whole lives long. Our third pillar is all about inspiring excitement, and we bring unique learning opportunities all year round to our residents to get them really excited about learning and excited about reading more books. So here's just a few photos from one of our 3,000 programs. We're at fairs and festivals. We inspire kids to read by teaching them different skills on play, reading, speaking, and singing. And then our bookmobile has had just an incredible year reaching out to some of the areas where it may be hard to get to the library and also serve more of Bargersville, which we do not have a branch there. So it's just been a fantastic year all around at JCPL. I want to provide you with a legislative update. Some of these legislative matters affect you as well, and you're no stranger to them. A few of them are related to libraries. So SCA 1 or Senate Enrolled Act 1, like for you, like all local units, reduces property tax income that we receive, but it also creates a new way that libraries will be receiving local income tax. And that last column is it's been defined a little bit more this year through legislation. House Enrolled Act 1406 was a bill that had a few pieces of it targeted directly toward libraries. So libraries in the state of Indiana will only be able to grow less than 50% of the maximum growth quotient or be in binding review. There's also an unequal penalty for error for public libraries. Luckily, we never do this. We always submit our budget, but if a public library in Indiana does not submit their budget correctly or in a timely manner, they receive 49% of their budget from the previous year, where all other local units receive 80%. So that's just been new this year. And then House Enrolled Act 1210 defined that local income tax process a little bit more. So in 2028, our library, Edinburgh Public Library, and Greenwood Public Library will all be coming to you petitioning for local income tax, along with trustees and some other units. So our facilities update, our facilities manager, we keep an updated 20-year maintenance plan that we try to make sure all of our buildings and vehicles are in really good operating condition. Last year, we did replace a courier van. And then, as I mentioned last May to you all, we paused seeking approval for library bonds renewal for the White River Branch project. This year, our library board has asked that we explore that again. So we are just kind of looking into that process. for a possible complete renovation of White River Branch where it sits and a possible expansion, building like a children's department wing to that library. If we come to you this year about that, it will be a tax rate neutral project. We are not asking for an increase. And then something I'm really excited about, this year is America's 250th anniversary. And we have just dozens and dozens of programs. And by the end of the year, it will most likely be hundreds and hundreds of programs. Some things that we are really excited about this month at the Art Craft, we'll be showing the movie Glory, which is a Civil War film, and some Civil War reenactors are coming to show up to be a part of that. So that'll be fun. A concert series is being held at the new Trafalgar Amphitheater, and Voices from the Past, our storytelling series. All of those things are funded with donations to the library. Another thing we're working on with the city of Franklin is the longest table, which it's a good thing to Google if you've never seen that before. It's a way of bringing your community together to learn. So the longest table is going to be on the Friday of Labor Day weekend. We're going to hopefully have more than 300 people at the amphitheater sharing a meal together. And there will be discussions about America's 250th and being an American citizen. So we're really excited about that and hope you guys join us. And you too. And then I'm planning a military day with my staff. We're really excited. It's going to be a day-long event at the Armory on the Saturday before Veterans Day. It'll be 10 a.m. to probably 5 or 6 p.m. And it's just going to be packed with amazing programs, speakers. We have a best-selling author, Brad Taylor, who writes military novels. He'll be there as well as some military heroes from Johnson County, and then lots of activities to do as well. And that's my presentation, and I'm here happy to answer any questions if you have.
Well, thank you, Lisa. We do appreciate that. Any questions for Lisa? That was a lot of good information. It's always nice to hear the good stories when you sit on this side. So,
Thank you.
any updates on staffing? Are you fully staffed? Do you have any staffing concerns? How's that going?
We are what I would call like bare bones staffing, but we've been lean for a really long time. And so we do have some staff openings, and luckily we're getting some good applicants for it.
Right.
But we're at a point where we really can't lose anymore because like I said, we're trying to be as lean as possible.
Great.
Thanks.
Anything else for
No.
Lisa? Well, thank you very much.
you.
We appreciate you being here. This council has received numerous requests for additional appropriations and approval of bond issuance documentation this year. We learned through the process for the Nineveh Fire Protection District that it is vital that council have the necessary information to make informed decisions about matters such as these in order to protect the best interest of the taxpayers throughout the county. Council is tasked by statute as the last line of defense for bond issuances. Fire protection districts and governing bodies for all taxing units that are comprised of officials who are not elected must obtain the approval of the county fiscal body prior to issuing bonds. For additional appropriations, we need information about why the appropriations are needed and why the requests were not foreseeable at budget time, which aligns with what we have requested of all departments and units seeking additional appropriations this year. Tonight, I would make a motion to table items E2 through 5 and instruct each affected unit to email council with specifics regarding your request. Pertinent information may include, but is not limited to, background/historical information that highlights the need for the request, a narrative on why the request is necessary / ramifications if request is not approved at the June meeting, information on the financial burden on the taxpayers should the request be approved, and provide any necessary documentation such as contracts or records from fire protection district meetings that play a part in the request and can help provide council with additional context. This is not being done for the purpose of delaying or denying what may otherwise be necessary requests, but it is our duty to be informed and to make fiscally responsible decisions for the taxpayers of Johnson County. With that being said, I would make a motion to table items E2 through E5 until such time that we receive the requested information from each affected unit.
So moved.
Motion by Michelle Graves, second by John Mallers. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Amy, please.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesmer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is Heath Brandt in the audience to present the old and new business board appointment to the 911 board? Hi, Heath.
Keith Brandt, 911 Director. This is just the appointment for a council representative to the 911 board, effective until next May.
Heath, I know you and I have emailed back and forth regarding the absence of a council-appointed designee attending those 911 meetings since December of 24.
Mhm.
Can you share the details of that with the rest of the council members, please?
Sure. I was unaware that the council had contact information for Mr. Deere. I did not have contact information from him once his county email was deactivated. Once he was no longer an official member of the council, so I had no means of contacting him.
Did you reach out to the auditor's office or anyone else for
Like I
contact
said, I
info?
did not know that the auditor's office had that information. That's correct.
We would expect that a department head would contact a member of council to inform us if our body was not being represented on the board because you couldn't contact your appointee. Did you reach out to any council member to let us know that was a problem?
No.
I did look at our agendas last year and minutes from 2025, and I did not see where Heath, you approached the council to request an appointment for last year. Did you bring this before council and I just missed it?
So there was some confusion because what's been done in the past was that it was being done on it wasn't on the same schedule, so it wasn't on that May to May, just because of new council members coming in and what have you, but now we're on that May to May. It was being done on a calendar year.
Well, I will say it is unfortunate that this has occurred, as it is a disservice to the 911 board, this council, and especially to Mr. Deere. And with that, I have no further questions if anyone else has anything. And then we need to figure out who our appointee is going to be for the 911 board.
I have something, if I may.
Please,
I would
please
like
do.
to say. I did some looking as well on the information, Keith, on us being without a representative since December of 24. And I'm just speaking for myself. But I believe that there were several breakdowns in communication over this period of time. Unfortunately, our representation to the 911 advisory board was missed, and I think it should have been addressed earlier, whether it's from us, from you, from the auditor's office, from whomever. Going forward, I think better communication and a clearer tracking process for appointees is definitely needed, so this doesn't happen again. And the goal is simply to make sure that council representation and communication stay on track in the future. With that being said, I would be interested in assuming the position as the representative on your 911 board, if that's acceptable to this board and you as well.
Absolutely.
So I would be looking for a motion if anyone cares to make one regarding the appointment to the 911 board.
Motion to approve
Second.
Pamela Burton.
A motion from Jonathan T. Myers, a second from Ron Bates. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Amy.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesinger,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers.
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
Thank you.
And Heath, in the future, would you please communicate with council if there are any further issues with our representation on the 911 board?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And Miss Amy, will you please update council's board appointment listing and noting that it is the outlier and it runs May to May? Thank you so much. And then we can keep that on track. F2, approval of ordinance 2026-04. And this is the ordinance amending the council ordinance for the Johnson County food and beverage tax, which we approved at our last meeting. And it's my understanding that this is just a housekeeping matter. The state requires a start date to be in that ordinance. And I think we have added the date of July 1st, 2026.
Yes, Kim Hamilton, County Treasurer. Yes, it had to be brought back because it did not pass unanimously, so that was added in the first paragraph. So it had to come back for a second reading, and then also, when we spoke to the state, they asked that we please put a start date in there. So it will take effect July 1 with, payments being remitted starting August 1 for the July period.
Okay.
So any other questions?
So it's just the date that was missing, the start
Yes.
date, and once we get that amended into our ordinance, then we're off to go and you can do the work that you
Yes,
had
absolutely.
requested. Okay. And thank you, by the way, if anyone didn't realize, today was the last day to pay your spring property tax installment in Johnson County. And the treasurer's office was busy from 8 o'clock to 4:30, and good
Yep.
job. We thank you for all the work you do down
Thank you.
there.
And you know what amazes me about that? If you sit out front to look at the people doing the walk of shame in the morning, show up at 8 o'clock and go, I didn't know yesterday was a day.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Any further questions for? Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve ordinance 2026-04.
I have a motion by John Mallers, a second by Ron Bates. Any further discussion? I think I just repeated myself. Amy, roll call vote, please.
Jonathan Myers,
Yes.
Melinda Griesinger,
Aye.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Kelly, for being here. We appreciate it. F3, approval of ordinance 2026-J-01. This is my first joint ordinance on being on council. This is an ordinance amending and superseding Johnson County Code 22-4-1, and this is regarding business travel procedures for county employees. Is there did any one of the commissioners, or did you want to present for them, or?
Yeah, we can do that. We've been working on this for how many months? So many months. And luckily we've had a lot of input from the auditor's office, from the court administrator. We've tried to make sure that this is the best procedure for all county employees and elected officials. What we're really doing was there was a lot of confusion when there are conferences to attend. There's different agendas to be on, possibly if there's non-exempt employees, if it's an overnight stay, if they're using the county car, if they're using their personal vehicle, what we need, if there's a guest. So this was just something that this has been a joint ordinance since it first came to fruition, I think in 2004. It's been amended.
Okay.
Last amendment, I think, was in 2022. So we wanted to clean it up. We have forms now for the employees or the department heads and elected officials to fill out if there's travel and training. It passed through the commissioners this morning. We had additional edits from President Graves, and it's for your review. It will be, if it's passed tonight, it will be in our county employee handbook as well as the ordinance online.
Does this replace a previous version?
Mhm.
And what
Yeah.
changed
Um,
of any significance?
You you sent a red line version.
There's a lot.
There's some pretty substantial changes.
Yeah.
I think the most important piece is like we now have a more streamlined process for people to submit their requests for approval.
Okay.
Where we have all of the information that we need in one place. And I
Okay.
think that also helps the auditor's office too, when people are submitting for reimbursement. Make sure that people are being compensated properly for their time and we're not having people accrue a bunch of overtime that they shouldn't be accruing. So kind of tightening things up, especially in light of Senate Enrolled Act 1 and making sure that that we're all doing what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
Keeping everything.
And I read through it very thoroughly. Having served as treasurer and Pam as auditor, our offices had to utilize that policy. And what I like about this is it really provides specific detail to be on file if
Yeah.
guests are attending, who's in the car, where are you going, are you spending the night, is it out of state, so we can protect the county and our taxpayers for any frivolous type of litigation that might possibly come our way. And I am in full support of it.
It also provides a lot of transparency. I think the taxpayers will appreciate seeing it. It brings things out of the shadows and brings it forward. And it's going to be in black and white. So
And
Yeah.
we did work with our county insurance as well, just to make sure
Right.
that we were covering all of our liability bases and what's covered and what's not. So there was a lot of thought and work put into it. So hopefully it helps streamline the process.
Yeah, I really liked what I saw. I thought it just makes us stronger as a county. And again, that transparency part of what we do as in local government is so important, and it's right there for everyone to see. So thank you guys for doing such a good work. Other than that, does anyone have any additional questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve. Something happened. I move to approve F3, ordinance 2026-J-01.
I have a motion from John Mallers,
I'll second.
second by Pamela Burton. Amy, roll call vote, please.
Real quick, is this effective today?
Yeah, we had to wait until both were passed. So yes, it would be effective today. Okay.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesemer,
Hi.
John Mallers,
Aye.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton,
Aye.
John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to F4, approval of ordinance 2026-08, amending the 2026 annual salary ordinance. And I did talk to Amy about this. These are changes that have been approved at our prior council meetings, March and April. So this is really just housekeeping, nothing that we didn't already discuss and vote on, correct? And with that, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve F4, ordinance 2026-08.
Second.
I have a motion by John Dittmers, a second by Ron Bates. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Amy, roll call vote, please.
Jonathan Myers,
Aye.
Melinda Griesemer,
Hi.
John Mallers, Michelle Ann Graves,
Aye.
Pamela Burton, John Dittmers,
Aye.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this point, we are to the item that we did add to our agenda tonight, F5, under old and new business. And everyone should have received a email from myself, and it's regarding discussion of travel and training. And to me, this just goes hand in hand with the joint ordinance that we just approved. And for those in our audience, I'll just kind of catch you all up to speed real quick. While researching the county's travel and training budget requests versus actual expenditures, we became aware that this line item is being overused countywide. While council is approving requested budget amounts for travel and training, many elected officials and department heads are transferring monies from other line items to their travel and training outside of this council's purview, thereby allowing actual travel and training expense above what council approved at budget time. Whenever I bring a problem, I always like to have a solution. The solution is for council to adopt a policy change requiring all transfers to travel and training line items to need more than a written request to the auditor's office, which is how it works currently, but would instead need to be requested before council. So I can verify there is currently an internal policy such as this for restricting transfers within the 100 series, salaries and overtime. And that was done to prevent the overuse of overtime. So we would just be mirroring that same policy change. And I am available for any questions or comments you may have on that.
I mean, what level of transfers were we seeing?
So,
May I?
yeah,
May I?
yes, please go ahead, Pam.
And I guess I would direct this toward Amy and Elizabeth, but if memory serves me correct, and it's been a while. Sorry, I want to say this correctly. That kind of became a common practice when I was auditor. People seemed to be a little dependent on being able to transfer that money around. So I think at budget time, maybe there was some cushion added for that purpose. Not that anybody was doing anything wrong, but I think it was just accepted and it was allowed. So, and I mean, are we still on that course? I mean, it's pretty much a regular when it's needed, but it's not necessarily travel and training.
Well, I mean, they can transfer within the same series, so it has to be a 300 series.
Okay, and give us some examples for the taxpayers of going from one to the other.
300 series includes like professional services, printing, operating equipment, not operating equipment,
Maintenance.
Supplies, yeah, postage, supplies.
So an example
anything
would
that you're
be,
paying for a service.
yeah, so an example would be my copier breaks down or something breaks down. I didn't need, I got extra in my travel and training, so I can move that over to pay for my copier.
Yes.
With a letter,
So
with,
that's taking it out of travel and training. Michelle is referring to
Putting it
putting
in.
it into travel and training, right?
Yes.
opposite of what I'm saying. Correct, okay.
Yeah, what I'm seeing across the board are limited requests at budget time for travel and training. And then large amounts transferred into that line item throughout the year to pay for some rather expensive trips. And the only way that we can monitor that would be the same way we monitor the 100 series. I'm not suggesting that we monitor everything with this policy change, just the travel and training line item only. And we would handle that just like we do for the salaries. And it just prevents overuse of overtime. This would prevent overuse of travel and training outside of our purview. It would ensure that elected officials and department heads are asking for what they need at budget time for travel and training and not giving us a lowball number knowing they're going to transfer more money in later.
So it's totally opposite than what I was
Yes.
thinking. I was thinking.
I'm sorry.
Needed their poor copier face.
No,
Okay,
No,
Alright.
this is, forget the poor copier, because we've got one
It's-
for travel we're
Gotcha.
going to need to fund.
I understand, thank you.
Mhm.
So my immediate thought is, it feels like we're kind of getting into the management space of what the elected officials and the department heads are doing. But I think what you just said kind of gets after the point of budgeting and getting the right items in the right lines.
Yes,
But I don't want, I would hate for this body to become a micromanaging mother may I
Right.
type
right.
Permission granting council.
I
I think
agree.
you gotta give them the latitude to do their work. That's the only thing that strikes me throughout that whole conversation.
And I didn't do the research that you did, Michelle. But my question would be, taking 4 people instead of 1,
Yes,
going, and this might be extreme, but 3 people traveling wherever, when one could go and bring the information back, or maybe you just went to that conference the year before, and because you have the money, you're going now. Are these the items that we're kind of discussing that we want to oversee?
just the travel and training line item only. For example, I'm trying to think of the specifics. One of the items that stuck out was a $5,000 budget request. And then the actual expenditure being more like $15,000 and $16,000.
Gotcha.
Those are the kind of variances that I saw countywide. And it strikes me to be similar as the overuse of the overtime line item that called for this very policy to be in effect for salaries and overtime. I'm seeing it happen for expenses for travel and training.
And it's always something that could be reversed in the future if it wasn't.
Absolutely.
Can I ask, would this just be for county, or would this be for any of the other units that we oversee and approve?
Whoever uses the travel and training, whoever budgets it, so.
Yeah.
Anybody that this council approves?
Well, I don't know how, other than the people that the budgets that we deal with at our budget time. I know if you're referring to like a Barbersville town budget, they have their own process for asking for additional appropriations. Those don't come in front of us.
Right.
For those kind of day-to-day things. This is
Okay.
just in-house Johnson County government employees only. Is that a better way to explain that?
Have we seen this type of ordinance anywhere else?
Not an ordinance,
Okay.
policy
Policy.
change.
From a
Okay.
policy change.
And it's, yeah, as,
So pretty common.
well, just, it could be whatever the council does. I think you could essentially have every single transfer come through, and I think there are places that do that, or did. So it's up to, you all as a council, what you want to come before you in the public meeting and what can go on the, consent agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And before, I'm not sure how many years ago that was, when the transfers to the, within the 100 series were, moved to request only, but it's been done by this body before.
If I'm an elected official or department head, how restrictive am I going to perceive this to be based on policy change, what I'm doing today versus what I'm doing after a policy approval?
Well, what it would do for me as an elected official, if I had a staff, it would force me to ask council for the money that I intended to spend for travel and training and not lowball it and then transfer it in because it looks kind of high.
Sometimes I think you can play the numbers to get your budget where it needs to be and then come back at a later time for different things. So I can see it both ways.
I mean, to me, it seems okay, except I just don't know how widespread this problem is. I mean, it may be, like Pam said, I didn't do the research like you did. I mean, if it's happened a couple times, I don't know that it's necessary. If it happens all the time, okay. Maybe that's not reasonable. I don't know.
And I think that goes back to where the policy can always be changed back. We see that it's not necessary.
But if we're adopting a policy for problem that is not pervasive, then why are we adopting the policy?
I think the point Michelle's making
It
is
is
that we
pervasive.
searched it and it is pervasive.
It might be also, you do have budget hearings coming up and budget workshops, the question to be asked on these budgets. And the other thing is, I know you two have been elected officials before, and how many times do you have a travel and training request? They're usually known about pretty far in advance. They're not, for most departments, I would say. So to the question of how invasive, I don't think it's that, just based on what comes before the commissioners, but
It shouldn't be evasive.
yeah.
Because you already know
Is something.
your state called
I was
meetings.
gonna say, all
Yeah.
of the training and travel
Right.
that the auditor's office, I believe, probably still does, is all mandated by the state.
Right.
So it's not any,
Right.
there happens to be this conference here or that's conference there.
Exactly.
It's all mandated by the state, so it's pretty cut and dried
It's
on,
approved at the beginning of the year.
yeah, to be budgeted for what you need. So, but I can't speak for the other departments.
Exactly.
So,
So we wouldn't need a resolution or an ordinance to restrict travel and training transfers. However, if it's something we want to do, we need the discussion, which we just have, and a vote on policy change for this matter.
would that be effective immediately, Michelle, or is this something we want to do discuss with the individuals during budget, or is this something that, does everyone think if we decide to try this, would it be immediate?
My thought would be it should go hand in hand with the joint ordinance that we just passed. And so it would be effective today, moving forward. That's my thought.
Can I give a thought?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please do.
My thought was the bottom line is accountability.
Yes,
The
sir.
bottom line, accountability, that's all.
Mhm.
Whatever we do and whatever people do.
And transparency.
So forth, it's just a matter of accountability.
Yeah.
How do you achieve that? But I think that it's a moving target for department heads. A lot of times the conferences aren't known where they're going. They don't know what the benefits of the conferences are. They don't know, whether it's going to be state called or if it's something like the AIC, which it can be beneficial. And so I don't know how you, it's kind of like throwing darts, I think initially, that's just my thought. It's hard to pin down. And I think that my experience has been that the department heads are honest and I think they do their due diligence. However, there are times that they don't hit the mark or they don't hit the tack board or whatever. It's something that's missed.
Melinda, I want to make sure you have an opportunity to join the discussion. Do you have any thoughts on the travel and training transfers?
Why don't we put a limit, like allow the elected officials and department heads the option to be able to move money as long as but once they reach a threshold of, say, $3,000, they are required to come before us. That way they do have some flexibility. But yet if it's over a dollar amount, they should come to us.
Yeah, and I think the problem with that would be that some of the departments are huge. And, I'm thinking of the sheriff's department. And they're gonna have a lot of travel due to some other things other than going to a conference. They're gonna be doing expedition and some other things, and I don't know how you throw a hat over it.
Well, maybe 3,000 is too low. Maybe if it's, if we did it to where like cumulative, if the department is spending and they've reached a threshold of 10,000, at that point, anything over 10,000, they're required to come to us.
Okay, well, lots of good thoughts. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna make a motion and just see how far we get tonight. I'm going to make a motion for this council to have a policy change regarding travel and training transfers. And because I think it would be hard to reinforce, I get where Melinda's going, but I think that would be hard to monitor and reinforce. I'm going to ask the policy change be for any transfers into travel and training will require an agenda request in front of council. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Michelle Graves, a second by Pam Burton. Any additional discussion?
Yeah, I'm gonna vote, of course, but so the timing of a change is gonna be so many day notification and then public notification and then before the council. So is it gonna be 60 days?
No, because it's not a resolution or an ordinance, because it's just a policy change, something internally that we would like to have more transparency, more accountability for. If it would pass tonight, the auditor would then need to send out the new policy procedure to all elected officials and department heads. And then any written requests to transfer monies into travel and training that hit the auditor's desk, she would just say, nope, there's a new policy now. You need to go in front of council and put that on the agenda.
Can I ask the one last question? So currently, that's how it happens. They send some sort of document to you and then the transfer just occurs. So now that it send it to us and they have to wait some period of time until we approve it?
It would just be on, just like any other additional appropriation request or transfer request. It just would be on our agenda. They'd have to make a request to be on the agenda.
So when they send it to the auditor, it's immediate. When they send it to us, they'd have to wait till the next meeting.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be that many emergencies on travel.
I'm just trying to find out how it
Yeah,
works.
yes, it would go on the agenda like any other request.
Okay.
To follow the dates
You
that.
never know, someone might need to get to Orlando fast.
Well, and for the most part,
Maybe English, Indiana.
for the most part too, these probably have come before the commissioners, so they're requesting to be on our agenda as well, so they're really, it could go hand in hand. In theory, like you said, there really shouldn't be emergencies.
That's
State
a
called-
very good point.
Thank
This
you,
is a
yeah.
Very good.
The state called ones are all approved by the commissioners in the beginning of the year.
Right.
So,
And we all budgeted for those, we know.
right, so it really shouldn't be cumbersome. There's always a situation where you could approve it and then ratify it at the meeting if something like that was needed.
I guess it was just shocking to me to see how many departments and offices had significant overspending in travel and training, and were doing so outside of the purview of this body. I mean, large numbers.
And that's public information for anybody that
Yes.
wants to research it.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not like it's private.
But if
Anybody.
it was budgeted properly.
It wasn't.
Well,
Yeah.
the implication is it's moved from equipment maintenance or whatever
Mhm.
into there, and then somehow equipment maintenance didn't need an additional, so are they over budgeting for these other line items just to have it in?
That's the trick, and that's a budgeting
Yeah.
issue, not necessarily a problem we're trying to.
Could be.
A problem that we're trying to find a solution for when the problem really doesn't exist.
Well, the-
Well,
Yes.
how it,
Issue that doesn't though, Michelle.
what, I make a,
What?
Go ahead, Melinda.
Motion.
I make a recommendation that we consult WIS to see what they recommend for us in this and go with a policy that's more developed and proven.
Okay, so right now we have a motion and a second on the floor, so I got to go ahead and move to a vote.
Sorry.
And we'll see where we land. Amy, with that being said, roll call vote, please.
Jonathan Myers,
I'm gonna say no.
Melinda Griesemer,
Aye.
John Mallers,
I mean, I get John's point about new conferences come up. You don't always know what the budget is. I don't want to micromanage like the other John said. But it's not all that burdensome. It's not that big of a inconvenience. So I'll go ahead and vote yes.
Michelle Ann Graves,
Yes.
Pamela Burton,
Yes.
John Dittmers,
No.
Ron Bates.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-2.
Okay, well, thank you for that. So I guess then the baton passes to the auditor. Will you be sure and get that information regarding our policy change on travel and training out to all the elected officials and department heads? Thank you very much. And that is all I have for tonight. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Y'all never make it in my private sector world, but